RBS exam. Which statement regarding state-issued identification cards is true? They are a valid proof of age. An administrative violation occurs on an ABC licensed premises, of that premises is at risk for administrative penalties. The license. Eating food while drinking alcohol may slow down the rate of intoxication. When is a work-issued ID valid for purchasing alcohol? Never. What is the maximum penalty for serving alcohol after hours? 6 months in jail. When refusing alcohol service to a patron, the server should do so discreetly. When alcohol is mixed with the side effects can range from discomfort to death. Medications or recreational drugs. Which condition is associated with alcohol-impaired driving? Impaired judgment. When an obviously intoxicated patron decides to leave your establishment, what best practice should you observe? Suggest the patron use a ride service to get to his/her next destination. The failure of a licensee to comply with the RBS program requirements shall be grounds for disciplinary action. What is embossed on the holder's picture on a California Real ID? Their birth date. What is the primary purpose of ABC's TRACE program? Identify and investigate where persons under 21 years of age obtained alcohol and who was killed or obtained serious injury or accident. A member of a group of patrons becomes obviously intoxicated. What should the server do? Inform the other group members that the obviously intoxicated patron will no longer be served alcohol. Which type of cannabis use is legal at an on-site alcohol establishment? Use of cannabis products are not permitted in on-site alcohol establishments. What is the best way to sober up an intoxicated person? Only time will sober up an intoxicated person. When should a server check a patron's ID? Prior to serving alcohol to the patron. A youthful-appearing patron presents an expired ID and wants to purchase alcohol. Based on best practices, what should the server do? Tell the patron that you cannot serve him/her alcohol. What does BAC mean? Blood alcohol concentration. When refusing alcohol service to a patron, the server should do so courteously. PCP is an example of an hallucinogen. What is the most valid reason for refusing service to a patron? The patron cannot provide a valid ID. Whose responsibility is it to act as gatekeeper in regard to the community's ability to obtain alcohol in public establishments? The alcohol server. Infractions are punishable by fine. Which substance is considered a depressant? Alcohol. Which is considered a good hospitality practice when serving alcoholic beverages? Slowing the beverage service down to the patron if needed. Which statement about alcohol's path through the human body is true? No digestion is needed in alcohol absorption. What happens when an alcohol server serves alcohol to a minor after inspecting a fake ID and reasonably concluding it to be valid? The alcohol server has a defense against prosecution. Which technique is best for determining the validity of an ID? Compare the signature on the ID to a fresh signature given by the ID holder. Security personnel, whose post is located outside the entrance to an alcohol establishment, has the primary responsibility to control the number of patrons entering and to check their IDs. Does the bouncer need to be certified? Yes, because security personnel check IDs. Which promotion is considered discriminatory? Ladies' drinks are half off. Which statement is true regarding people with a high tolerance to alcohol? They are better at hiding their intoxication. The use of foul language is an example of lowering inhibitions. Which feature is located on the back of a valid California driver license? Barcode. What does ABV mean? Alcohol by volume. What does RBS mean? Responsible beverage service. Where would the licensee be able to look online to see if their server is RBS certified? The ABC RBS database. Which form of ID is not acceptable for determining a person's age? Interim state-issued driver license. Upon seizing a fake ID, the alcohol establishment must give the fake ID to local law enforcement authorities within 24 hours. A server may seize any identification presented by a person that is fake, so long as a receipt is given to the person from whom the fake ID is seized. Which of these is not a policy for monitoring the behavior of minors seeking alcohol service? Minors finding secluded locations in the premises where employees cannot monitor their activities. One of the benefits of establishing policies for the service of alcoholic beverages is that it provides a safe and comfortable space for patrons and employees. Frequent calls for service to local law enforcement by an on-premises licensee may result in suspension of alcohol license. When can a 19-year-old legally serve alcoholic beverages in a restaurant? When the server's primary responsibilities is to serve food. A legally acceptable ID has which characteristic? Issued by a government agency. Which crime is often related to alcohol use? Sexual assault. It is unlawful for a person who has %% or more, by weight, of alcohol in his/her blood to drive a vehicle. 0.08 BAC. What information should be documented in an incident log? Names and addresses. Which is an indicator of a false ID? Card is too thick. A non-profit organization has obtained a temporary daily on-sale license for a fundraiser. Who within the organization has to be RBS certified? The alcohol pourers.